Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. 7,580 job seekers are employed in 2 months, with some private sector enterprises still not responding to the employment process. The Sultanate achieved the highest annual growth rate for the industrial sector in the GCC, according to the United Nations Industrial Development Organization report. The Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs launches the Better Climate for Green Future initiative. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Michel Aoun of Lebanon in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on his country's independence anniversary. The Ministry of Manpower affirmed that 7,580 job seekers were employed since the implementation of the Council of Ministers decision in December. That came at a time that a number of private sector establishments did not fulfill the Ministry of Manpower demands to employ Omani youth as per the Council of Ministers decision to employ 25,000 job seekers. The job seekers also urged the ministry to speed up the employment process according to their educational qualifications. The ministry stated that number of job seekers who were employed during the period from 1st of January 2018 until today reached 3,454. The ministry mentioned that 50% of the employed job seekers have qualified or qualifications below general diploma, while 31.6% of them have general diploma degree, while those having higher diploma and above represented 18.4%. 5 papers were presented in the Industrial Survey Seminar by experts from inside and outside the Sultanate that showcased various statistics and details about the Sultanate's industrial sector. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif Al Sarai.
Around 100 participants from public and private sector as well as university students attended the Industrial Survey Seminar, which came to create database serving the developmental projects and to introduce the importance of the industrial information.
Well, this conference or workshop that we have now is mainly about the industrial statistical information. It's held by the Directorate General of Industry with the cooperation of UNIDO. The aim of this is to tell people about the importance of the industrial statistic, also to know the new technique used for this, and also to give an indication about the statistical analysis that we have so that we can plan our future for the industrial sector for that.
The seminar advised the establishment's owners to cooperate with the industrial survey by giving accurate and clear details to the data collected during the process. In addition, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO revealed in its 2017 report that the Sultanate has achieved the highest growth percentage in the industrial sector among Gulf Cooperation Council countries, reached 4.7%.
This event is a part of our project which we are doing together with the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in Oman for enhancing the statistical capacity of the ministry, producing indicators for measuring the industrial performance. We started 2013, and this is an extension of the project, the second phase of the project.
The seminar discussed various papers, namely the industrial performance monitoring, the competitive ability, the international recommendations for the industrial survey, as well as the regional statistics and references concepts. The industrial survey works are conducted annually in different governorates to calculate the industrial establishments in the Sultanate, and to create a comprehensive database about the sector, which currently contributes 11% in the Sultanate's GDP. So the industrial statistics are vital to monitor many aspects in the market, such as the growth and the distribution. Therefore, this event came to highlight the importance of it. Sultan bin Saif al-Sarai, Muscat.
The volume of Islamic banks acquisition in the banking and the finance sector in the Sultanate increased to 12% after financing several projects, including the purchase of commercial aircraft and industrial vessels, in addition to residential and commercial projects. Islamic banking in the Sultanate is looking for financing new sectors, including tourism, entertainment, media, and takaful insurance. During a seminar held by the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Oman, the speakers agreed that the sector will provide new products for individuals, especially with the improvement in oil prices. Such seminars represent an opportunity for those involved in the managing economic crisis, developing their businesses and finding out the latest ways to finance the new projects. The State Council approved the proposal by the Committee of Culture, Media and Tourism to make the study on activating the role of Omani drama and theatre in the society, and that it treats of theatre role as the cultural scene in the present time, besides the importance of activating the role of drama in guidance in order to face negative behaviors and attitudes. The Council further approved the internal regulation of the Council during its fourth sessions of the third round for the sixth term. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council. The Shura Council Office discussed the ministerial replies on control means in its agenda. The Council reviewed results of the job fairs for employment, the number of those accepted for offered jobs and challenges facing employment process. The Council reviewed the reply of His Excellency the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources about the transfer of sands from valleys other than the designated places without permission from the Ministry. The Council also discussed the report by the Health and Environment Committee about the proposal of patient safety and rights law. His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal al-Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council, chaired the meeting. Forty topics were discussed by the Joint Technical Committee concerned about applying the future mechanism of urban planning in its second meeting of the year. The most important topics discussed by the committee are changing the usages of lands and heights, investment and economic projects in the Governorate of Muscat, in addition to the presentation given by Omani Company for Electricity Transmission on the review of the high voltage power lines. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amr al-Shakhsi, and the Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Head of the Committee. With the aim of spreading the culture of environmental initiatives and experiences, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs launched the Better Climate for Green Future initiative. The Ministry's initiative lasts for a year and is considered the second in this field. This event will contribute in acquainting society members and raising their awareness about the challenges of climate changes and their negative impacts on the development sectors. It as well aim to encourage initiatives and ideas which help reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases and global warming gases. The event drew that attention towards the necessity that future projects must be compatible with the environment. On the sidelines of the inauguration ceremony, the winning companies in the first initiatives were honored. An exhibition was also organized to strengthen the partnership and cooperation among government bodies, research institutions, society members, and private sector establishments in the field of adaptation to climate changes. Still to come, your news bulletin. Breeding of wild and local Omani plants and trees exhibition is held in Al Dakhiliya Governorates. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas ruling Fatah Party has called for a general strike to protest U.S. President Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Today's strike comes on the final day of Vice President Mike Pence's visit to the region, which the Palestinians have been boycotting. It includes shops, public transportation, banks, and most of the public sector aside from the schools and hospitals. Pence's first visit to the region as vice president has included stops in Egypt and Jordan. A Kurdish militia spokesman said Turkey has shelled a city in northeastern Syria as Turkish forces press into Syrian Kurdish enclave for the fourth straight day. The spokesman said Turkey fired on Khamishli and other towns along the Syrian-Turkish border today, calling it a diversion from the main campaign by Turkey and allied Syrian militia forces to invade the Kurdish enclave of Afrin along another part of the frontier. The forces from the People's Protection Units, or YPG, have held the Turkish forces from making any real progress in Afrin. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring Group said at least 24 civilians, 24 Kurdish fighters and 25 Turkish-backed Syrian militiamen have been killed in the clashes in Afrin since Saturday. In Stockholm, Autopilot, a self-driving bus project, is set to officially launch tomorrow. Is claimed to be a first of its kind in Scandinavia. For 6 months, this four-wheeled autonomous minibus will shuttle passengers up and down 1.5 kilometers pre-programmed stretch of road in Kista Science City. The minibus use LiDAR technology, meaning light detection and ranging, an array of sensors that enable self-driving vehicles to see what's around them so they can safely navigate roads. Rather than a traditional driver, the minibuses are staffed with a so-called host who keeps watch over the vehicle and closes the door once all passengers have boarded. There's a room for 11 passengers, 6 seated and no steering wheel. It's not for anyone in rush. The buses have been limited to a maximum speed of 20 kilometers per hour during the trial. Back here in the Sultanate, more local news, bilateral relations between the Sultanate and India were discussed by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, in his office with His Excellency Indramani Pandey, Indian ambassador credited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, they further discussed mutual cooperation between the two countries in different fields. Reviewing the march of the good bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and India to achieve their joint interests was at the core of discussions between His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed No'mani, Minister of Royal Office, with His Excellency Indramani Pandey, Indian ambassador credited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and discussed matters of mutual concern. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith Al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, met with a delegation from ground forces from the Republic of South Korea, led by Major General Kang In-soon. During the meeting, they exchanged points of view on a number of matters of mutual concern. Exchanging views on military matters between the Sultan and South Korea was the main topic discussed at the talks held by Major General Matar bin Salim al-Blushi, commander of the Royal Army of Oman, with a delegation from the ground forces from the Republic of South Korea led by Major General Kang In-soon. His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, led the Sultan's delegation to the 10th Global Forum for Food and Agriculture in Berlin. The activities of the forum kicked off on the 20th of this month with the participation of agriculture ministers of 69 nations. The event discussed the future of agricultural food industry and how we can shape the future of global livestock production. It as well aimed to enhance food security and nutrition, sustainability, improve the efficiency and profitability of the food and agriculture sector, advance the right to adequate food and achieve 2030 agenda for sustainable development and its goals in the field of food security. The forum discussed opportunities of exportation, importation and investments of food. The head of the Sultan's delegation held bilateral talks with a number of agriculture ministers in which they discussed issues of mutual concern in the field of agriculture, livestock and fisheries wealth. The Sultan's delegation aimed to enhance cooperation with the participating countries in the field of food security and agriculture, in addition to promoting the Sultan as a hub for re-exportation of food and agriculture products in the Middle East. In a celebration of Oman Environment Day, the Environment and Climate Affairs Administration at Al-Dakhiliya Governorate organized an exhibition at the Nizwa Cultural Center entitled Breeding of Wild and Local Omani Plants and Trees. Our reporter, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, has more details in the following report.
Emphasizing on the importance of preserving plant species in the Sultanate and aiming to spread the culture of conservation and commitment to planting among the community, the Environment and Climate Affairs Administration at the Dakhiliya Governorate held an exhibition on wild and local Omani plants and trees due to their economic value.
The aims of holding this event is raising awareness among people about the importance of breeding Omani trees and the wild plants, also to gain experience of ways of preserving such plants.
The event witnessed the participation of nursery owners who displayed a number of seedlings, giving the attendees an opportunity to learn about some of the most important types of Omani plants that grow in different environments and methods of breeding such plants and protecting them from insects, pests, and extinction. The exhibition also shed light on Omani honeybees and their economic and environmental value, ways of honeykeeping, and methods of maintaining their breeds. Preserving native plants is essential to maintain the natural food chain and ultimately support the national efforts made to achieve sustainable development. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter my sports, and here the main points once again. 7,508 job seekers are employed in the 2 months, with some private sector enterprises still not responding to the employment process. The Sultanate achieves the highest annual growth rate for the industrial sector in the GCC, according to United Nations Industrial Development Organization report. And the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs launches the Better Climate for Green Future initiative. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom in the studios, good night.